Welcome to Vine. We are doing the Divine Feminine reading right now. We're pulling the clarifiers for it. And of course, it does seem like the Divine Feminine does have mirroring going on because, of course, the energies are aligned. So it's 1 and 1. 1 and 1, 1 and 1, 2 and 1, 1. We are going into the Divine Feminine right now. We are getting the clarifiers for it. And this is, again, like I mentioned before in the Divine Masculine reading, that this is a very good time in the energy. Because this is really getting things where you want it and no longer where it was before. That discontent and boredom came out. So this is really changing things. For the Divine Feminine, you will begin to recognize more and more now that everything is coming together for you. Everything that you have learned throughout your years, the religion that you've been a part of, the spiritual knowledge that you have gained, the educational pursuits. You're noticing that everything is coming together for you right now. And you're starting to see the merger of it, that it was all to work together for your good and that you are a multi-dimensional blend of all of it. It doesn't separate. You know, people ask, you were raised Christian? Absolutely. And I still, that resource is there because it was programmed inside of me. That new beginning, perfect. I knew exactly. And we can even keep the bottom of the deck there because it just all ties right in. But yes. And it just, everything ties into it. And you'll find, even with the cards, people worry about the cards sometimes. Well, what is the card doing or that? Even when I would read my Bible, I was the type that I'd flip through, pick a day, let me flip through and see where I land scripture-wise. Or if I did my devotionals, I didn't go every day. I went a random day. So that's the way I interact with paper, period, whenever I'm getting divine guidance. But it's not to allow anything to go above your vessel, your connection to the divine. We have many resources that we can use here, whether it be stones, whether it be another person, whether it be paper, whether it be fire, whether it be water, whether it be the earth, the elements that in which we are. The reason why we are assigned so many of those astrological symbols and signs that we have, which is funny because that's coming out right there with the Aries, and then you'll have the Ram, then you'll also have the red, then you'll also have the fire. It lets you know that all of the energy, all the elements, everything, we're all it. We're all it. We're all made of it. So it is nothing separates you from your divinity. Paper doesn't separate you from your divinity. This is utilized in honing in the clarity of the divine connection that is already there. I've only done tarot on YouTube, but whenever I did provide any type of spiritual divine guidance like this, it was direct channel. So even utilizing this, I look at it no different than if I was telling a story to a 5-year-old in the illustration of it, that it enhances it. Or going to a play and we get to see like all of the theatrics that are within it, that the divine gives us a way to enjoy a message. No different than even growing up religious-wise, and then you go and then the minister, the choir, and all of that, in order to receive the message. It is a colorful, illustrational way to receive the message. So, yeah, so I don't know, maybe someone needed to hear that. So we'll go right on in. Oh gosh, what's coming strongly is, what is the draw where it seems like an addictive draw to this? Well, understand it. If there's an addictive draw to this, it's not an addictive draw to this paper. I promise you that. It might be at the time period that you are drawn to getting the message about someone or something, and that's just showing a little bit of addiction and obsession there about that person. So it's to address that, get to the underlying issue of that, and really transforming that transformation of pain that you'll see in my description. It'll help out a lot with any of that stuff that comes up for you. So no worries there. All right, so let's go right on in. So we have the Divine Feminine that shows up with the Four of Wands. So it's like, oh, well, let's end this. Let's end this. We have everything we need. But it's like, no. We're showing up with the Four of Wands, but then we go right into the Two of Swords and a balancing act. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. What is that about? What is that about when we start talking about this? So we got to go to the clarifier when it comes to the Four of Wands. And if we go to the clarifier with the Four of Wands, this is our whole kit and caboodle. So then we go to the clarifier and we have sacrifice. So what this is telling me is that the Divine Feminine is getting to the point where they're no longer going to make what? Those self-sacrifices in order to have the Four of Wands, the whole kit and caboodle. That's the everything that you want. That family life, that financial life, that career life, that purpose life, that everything that, you know, whatever your dreams and desires are, it's different for each, you know. You're discovering that more and more now. So the Divine Feminine is really understanding that. They're understanding that I can't make sacrifices for that, because if I make sacrifices for that, then that means I don't have it. It's like I'm cheating to get it, but if I cheat to get it, I don't have it. Meaning that if I take myself out of my state of well-being to get my partner, or to get the, I'm getting the money or whatever is wanted, the pentacles is what we call the coins, the pentacles. To get that, if I take myself out of myself to get that, then it's not going to be that. It's not going to be the Four of Wands, because that's the whole kit and caboodle. I mean, it's inside and outside. It feels good to you. Everything is great. It's in full alignment. So they're recognizing that the sacrifices that they were making to get the things is no longer going to work, because it's counter. So that puts them in the balance, and it's like, whoa, okay. So we go to the root chakra, which is that base chakra that kind of comes out and it stands. So it's like they're dealing with, the Divine Feminine energy is dealing with the root of it, the root of why they would make sacrifices to have this stuff. Why have I been making sacrifices to have this family life, this financial life, this career life, this social life, this? Why have I been making sacrifices to have this? Knowing that if I made the sacrifices, it's almost like I'm going to know, because I'm the one that's doing it. So then I know that I don't have what it seems to be that is real, because I feel it. There's that music. It's like, duh, yeah. So, and really get into the root of that is what the Divine Feminine energy is doing. And then when we go into Ace of Pentacles, that is that committed to that happiness, that felicity that we would always get when we first started out. So committed to that happiness, and really just seeing how to climb those mountains that appear within the natural divine life, meaning that things come to us, but we always have the ability to scale over it, which is where you look at and you understand the flying that happens, which is that you don't experience the same thing as the person who is to the left or to the right of you. You experience a completely different experience with the same elements. So, and you see that that's discontent and boredom that is down below it. So that's that ordinary life, having to deal with all of those same type of infractions that everybody else is doing around you, still being in that 3D structured life, but not necessarily getting to that place of that divine life, or knowing that you can scale over the mountains, go right there and have everything, committed to that happiness. Meaning that no matter what's happening, you're committed to what? Being balanced and aligned, so you can have what is necessary to get through whatever and maintain steady stability above. They're getting to the root of all of that keeps leading them into that discontent and that boredom. And they're really, and see, this is what's hit, because it's like, okay, so if they're committed to that, then what is the action that they're committed to? You see this? This is being left out in the cold, upside down. This is that chaos, that disruption. So it's really being committed to getting this out of their lives. That chaos and that disruption. So that's the action according to the root stuff that we have, that the divine feminine is dealing with right now. Then we come in right here with authority, clarifying that. So really the authority and saying, I'm not going to be left out in the cold anymore when it comes to anything, is what I have for the divine feminine. Not only will I not be left out in the cold when it comes to anything, I'm getting rid of all of this chaos and this disruption that is happening in my life and is showing out everywhere in different other areas. What's going on there? What's happening? What's going on? You know, I had one of those myself. It was like, okay, I was going to fight over the weekend and fight with the YouTube to put everything up. And it was like, you've been doing that. And it was for you to balance out a little bit of that masculine action energy on your end. So it was like, how are you going to balance this out? You know what? It doesn't go up right now, so then it's just not now. Then I went to put it up this morning. I opened my eyes and it was just like, upload that video now. Went up within seconds. You hear me? So it was like, a new thing here. Because regardless, I'm going to be committed to, how can I do this to where I can scale over the mountain? How can I maintain in my happiness and my peace? But then I do have to go through the 3D structure where I have to avoid that which says, well, you have to get something out now. Or you just did it, so you need to go ahead and get it out. Or, well, what if? Or what if? Or what if? I'm not in that. I'm not in that. You go above. You go above and you understand that everything is going to work together for your good. So that's beautiful. And I have that the divine feminine is really working on that disruption and chaos and really standing authority over their life in many areas now. Committed to being in that place of happiness and peace and not willing to make the sacrifices to get to where they'll be able to have all of this that symbolizes that they have the happiness and peace, because they're recognizing it was sending them back into the 3D way of doing things. So they're really getting to the root of that stuff that kept sending them into the space where I'm getting that they don't even believe in it. The divine is like, I don't even believe in some of the things that I've been doing. That just kind of came out. And then we go to the King of Swords, and what I'm getting right there, which is interesting, is because the word that is being said, I don't know who started this word, and I'll probably say it. I hope don't nobody find me for it, but what is I'm getting? The King of Swords just comes in. It's just like period. Period. They're like, period. It just kind of ends it. It's like the divine feminine right now is not making sacrifices for them to have everything that they are desiring to have, because when they make the sacrifice, they recognize it means they don't have it. They're getting to the root as to what was causing them to create and do all of those sacrifices, what they were saying was their joy and felicity, but now they're committed to their joy and felicity, which means that they are flying above the things that will cause them disruption and chaos in their lives, and they're becoming the authority of it. And this right here is a new beginning, and in the new beginning, clarifying the final of that, because we have the King of Swords coming in that says period. Then we have the clarifier that comes in and says new beginning. But you also have this right here, this woman, which we put that as our feminine energy, standing above earth, which means that they are above it, taking flight and dealing with the things of the earth, which is what we mentioned with that Ace of Pentacles card, which means that the things are coming, but I'm going to deal with it from up above, because I know that there is another route, and I'm getting even that Abraham Hicks term, another route of least resistance, to where I don't necessarily have to fight it this way or that way. Maybe it just means this, and then go on, and then recognizing that things will align for you within that divine time and space, or being guided into different directions of doing things, but not going to the place of making those sacrifices that the divine feminine energy has been making to make things happen, forgetting that they do have that ability to really connect, divinely connect, and discern what would be an easier path for you in doing things, a better path for you, a more successful path for you, and one that allows you already to have that full contentment, which is really what this Four of Wands really breaks down to mean. That full contentment with your life, which is what I set out to say that I want to do, is what I am doing, and mentally, emotionally, physically. That is really what this is about. So really going ahead and starting to live that life of contentment is what we have going on with the divine feminine right now, which is I'm not going to live in this chaos and disruption and being all torn up inside and not balanced and out of sorts just to get to a place where I feel content because I have all of these things. They're saying no. The new beginning is I'm going to be content now. I'm going to be above these matters that continue to happen over the earth, and I'm going to take routes that may not seem earthly, which is why this person is above it. But I know that this is going to be a path of least resistance for me, and I know that it is going to add up for me. Might not work for everybody else, but that is the path of being divinely guided. And that is the faith piece on this journey that pulls everything together. And interesting, the bottom of the deck is love begins, and you have the rainbow going across. So this is beautiful that we have with the divine feminine. Beautiful. The golden mission. The golden mission is union. Union within self, then union with others.